Ricky Gervais's best woke takedowns.
How arrogant are you to think that you deserve to go through life with no one ever saying anything that you don't agree with or like?
Ricky Gervais has perfected the skill of highlighting the ridiculousness of woke culture. And today, we assess his most cutting critiques. We begin with one of the most iconic instances in television history, Ricky Gervais's ruthless monologue at the Golden Globes. Before Hollywood's top celebrities, he dismantled their hypocrisy with expert precision.
Well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you?
You say you're woke, but the companies you work for are unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent. His harsh dismantling rendered the room silent with shock as the internet erupted with laughter and cheers. Yet, could this be considered his most brutal moment? Or does he possess even more precise takedowns prepared? Jervais has consistently stated that being offended does not prove one is correct. His statement, "Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right," has turned into a rallying cry opposing cancel culture. He skillfully reveals the hypocrisy of individuals who profess to support free speech yet seek to suppress opinions they oppose. For him, offense is based on viewpoint, rather than an absolute reality. In his own words, offense is about feelings, and feelings are personal. In his Netflix special, Humanity, he skillfully conveyed this concept with a clever analogy. It's like walking past a sign that says guitar lessons and saying, "But I don't want guitar lessons." The ridiculousness of the analogy is precisely the point. Merely because something is present doesn't imply it was intended for you, and just because a joke upsets someone doesn't mean it ought not to be shared. However, Jervais goes beyond mere theory. He boldly explores these limits, plunging into subjects that other comedians hesitate to approach. In Supernature, he addressed the increasing awareness surrounding language itself. Words are like spells. Apparently, if you say the wrong one, you can ruin someone's life. His understated manner highlights the absurdity of contemporary outrage culture even more clearly. Naturally, any conversation about offense wouldn't be thorough without acknowledging the indignation he triggered with his comments on identity politics. His comment regarding individuals self-identifying however they choose elicited laughter from crowds, but outrage from activists who called for an apology. What did he say? "I identify as someone who doesn't care." But what occurs when Jervais moves past mere words and truly risks tackling one of the most unapproachable subjects in comedy? If there's one thing that drives Ricky Gervais crazy, it's celebrities who engage in virtue signaling. And no instance highlighted that better than his criticism of Hollywood elites at the Golden Globes. Jervais has consistently shown no fear in addressing the hypocrisy of the Hollywood elite. Jervais certainly recognizes the irony, and he's not one to overlook it. During his Golden Globe speech, Jervais criticized the arrogance of the celebrities present, stating,
Well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you?
"You say you're woke, but the companies you work for are unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent." He struck a painful chord by highlighting their readiness to collaborate with ethically dubious companies, all while lecturing to the public about their alleged moral superiority. However, it was not only the businesses that suffered. Jervais took it a step further, highlighting the hypocrisy of celebrities who have often utilized their platform to preach to the public on political matters.
So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg.
So if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. This cutting, harsh comment served as a reminder that Hollywood's elite exist in an insular world, disconnected from the challenges faced by everyday individuals. Was this his final mic drop, or was there an even harsher moment to come? Continue watching to discover. Ricky Gervais targets not only Hollywood, but also critiques the ridiculousness of contemporary social justice discussions.
Gwen Stefani got in trouble in her last video because she had her blonde hair in dreadlocks. People go, no, black people invented dreadlocks, you can't have them, you're white, that's racist. Jamie Oliver got in trouble when he put out authentic jerk chicken recipe. People go, no, black people invented that, you can't have it, you're white, that's racist. Now, black people, they use the N-word, don't they? We invented that.
One of his most discussed instances occurred when he made fun of the anger surrounding cultural appropriation, a topic that appears to provoke outrage whenever it is brought up. On Twitter, Jervais made a cutting comment that expressed his opinion clearly. Next time a white person orders sushi, I hope someone is brave enough to call the authorities. It's a statement that combines humor and criticism, yet remains entirely truthful. Jervais employs comedy to highlight the inconsistencies in these so-called cultural wars. Ultimately, who determines what is considered offensive? Is the individual hurt, or is it another person choosing to defend the oppressed culture? In a society where even minor issues can be considered offensive, Jervais highlights the ridiculousness of attempting to regulate every exchange between various cultures. He doesn't merely toss out jokes for shock. He prompts us to reconsider the underpinnings of these discussions. Are we truly safeguarding cultures, or are we merely creating excuses to be angry? Moreover, are individuals truly upset, or is this merely another channel for social media activists to satisfy their craving for conflict? However, Jervais doesn't end here. If anything, his criticism of cultural appropriation serves merely as the prelude. There's an even larger goal in sight, a set of individuals he enjoys criticizing even more than Twitter activists. Ricky Gervais is unapologetic when it involves mocking politicians. His comedy goes beyond merely ridiculing politicians. It aims to reveal the hypocrisy of the elite, especially those who wield their power to preach to the public on matters they have never genuinely faced. Jervais has consistently pointed out the absurdity of privileged elites who have never faced concerns about rent, healthcare, or living from one paycheck to another, yet believe they have the right to dictate to others. In the dark comedy series Afterlife, Gervais's character speaks bluntly as he critiques the daily challenges faced by those pretending to grasp the concept of being ordinary. "You're not oppressed. You drive here in a car with air conditioning," he bluntly remarks, offering a sharp critique of the gap between politicians and the constituents they profess to serve. It's a message that resonates deeply, particularly in the current world, where politicians frequently appear entirely disconnected from reality. However, Jervais goes further. He has a rich history of ridiculing political elites who assert they are for the people while leading lives of luxury. From politicians advocating austerity while residing in lavish homes to those likening their challenges to working-class woes, Jervais spares no criticism. Still, one question persists. Is it possible to genuinely cancel Ricky Gervais? His upcoming political objective could very well be his most contentious to date. Stay close, as things are about to become even more intense. Ricky Gervais doesn't limit his critiques to Hollywood or politicians. He's just as bold in addressing the empty gestures of corporate virtue, signaling and performative activism that dominate social movements. One of his sharpest remarks was when he mockingly spoke to businesses during Pride Month. "Oh good, a rainbow version of your corporate logo. That should help the oppressed." His expressionless performance flawlessly conveyed the ridiculousness of companies abruptly embracing rainbow flags or altering logos for a month, only to revert to normal operations as soon as the month ends. It's a superficial action that questions: is this genuine support, or merely a convenient method to profit from the current trend? For Jervais, it's evidently the latter, and he isn't hesitant to point it out. His critique goes beyond just the surface. However, Jervais' critique of wokeness extends even more. His most shocking and arguably most ludicrous critique of contemporary social movements is yet to be revealed, one that even left Jervais himself in disbelief, shaking his head. What's the next surprising turn in his fight against woke culture? Stay tuned to discover. A food bank in the UK took an action that reverberated throughout the country. In a bid to address perceived injustices, the food bank stated it would stop offering assistance to white individuals. Individuals from diverse backgrounds were left pondering the reasoning for segregating those in need based on race. Was this truly a solution, or had it turned into a problem on its own? The choice quickly ignited discussions, and in true Jervais style, Ricky was unable to refrain from commenting. He went on Twitter to jokingly highlight the ridiculousness. A food bank that bans people based on race? Sounds like they're tackling one problem by creating another. His tweet captured the fury in one clever remark, highlighting the absurdity of the situation. It was a typical Gervais moment, clever, funny, and undeniably accurate. However, this goes beyond merely a food bank dispute. It pertains to a larger issue. Gervais's exceptional talent for transforming real-life absurdities into humor is what establishes him as a genius of contemporary satire. While many would avoid facing the uncomfortable reality, Gervais tackles it directly with comedy. The crucial question at this point is, can humor endure during a time of anger? Or is Ricky Gervais among the few remaining advocates for free speech in a world that is growing more sensitive? From the hypocrisy of Hollywood to the absurdities of politics, Ricky Gervais has repeatedly shown that comedy isn't extinct. It's merely being challenged. His talent for transforming controversy into humor has made him a target of woke anger, yet also one of the most adored comedians globally. What implications does this have for the future of comedy? Will additional comedians take after Ricky, or is the age of bold comedy concluding? Share your opinions in the comments section below.